All right, we're live on the internet, we're live on the Facebook, on the line, and we got a lot to talk about in the tropics. No surprise, right on cue, Maria has formed into a hurricane. We've been expecting that all morning today. It's rapidly intensifying, but this hasn't changed what we can expect or what we've been talking about all morning with this forecast, and we'll get down to that and break it down. I just want to put some minds at ease here. You'll be seeing stuff blowing up on Twitter and the Facebook and your news feeds about Hurricane Maria and that it may be following in Irma's path. I saw that once, it's saying Maria is following Irma's path. That's more misleading than it is informative. So disregard that. Here's what we really need to focus on when we talk about the tropics and we talk about Maria. So we have Jose, Category 1 storm up to the north. Hurricane or tropical storm watches in place for Jersey Shore, Long Island, up into parts of New England. This is going to help our forecast with Maria, and I'll break that down in just a bit. But Jose, I know we've been saying no way Jose, but I think Jose is a bit of our friend in this situation. It's off to the north, so any rip currents and swell lingering from Jose will be gone by the end of the day tomorrow. Update from Lee. Lee is no longer a tropical storm. It's really struggling now, depression. This is no threat to land whatsoever. It'll just fizzle out over the open Atlantic. And then here is our new friend, Maria. I wish it was named Marie, because there's a Louis Prima song called Oh Marie. It's been on repeat all day today on top of the Sinatra we have playing in the background. But yes, Category 1 storm, rapidly intensifying. We could see this become a major hurricane. And we have tropical storm warnings and watches in place for parts of the Leeward Islands. Reminder, these were locations that were significantly impacted by Irma, so they really can't catch a break down here. But I really want to stress here that so much can change over the next week. This is still so far out. We got about nearly 2,000 miles from the first coast. So this is so far out to see from us here home. So a lot can change with this forecast. We have the cone of uncertainty, and you'll be looking at cones, you'll be looking at spaghetti plots, maybe some computer models, and I really want to stress that if you do look at those spaghetti plots, I like spaghetti more so than I like spaghetti plots. Those are just computer output models. They're just taking current conditions of the storm, putting them into an equation, and then spitting out an answer. But current conditions always change every second. That's how the atmosphere works. That's how the weather works. So the answers and the outputs from these computer models will constantly change. So if you keep looking at them, hour by hour, you're going to drive yourself crazy, because you're going to find out by the time you get later into next week, you'll see the variety of outputs and outcomes. So don't necessarily like to look at that at a specific forecast. You know, today we may have 2 + 2 = 4. Tonight we may have 3 + 3 = 6. Tomorrow morning we may have 1 + 2 = 3. So a lot can change with this, as it's still so far out. We got a week to go. And I want to bring back what I was talking about earlier, about how I saw some people talking about, or someone brought up the attention that, I'm not calling anyone out, I just saw it on my Twitter feed somewhere, some news article somewhere from across the world or something, that Maria is following Irma's path. That is more misleading than informative. Yes, maybe for the next day and a half, as the storm cruises through the Leeward Islands, because there's much more certainty here in this forecast than way out to Friday. So maybe, yeah, Maria is following in Irma's path for the next day and a half. But beyond that, there's too much uncertainty, and things are a lot different in the atmosphere now than it was with Irma. I mean, when we dealt with Irma, we had Harvey fizzling out and Irma here. We have 3 more storms out here. Right? You got Maria, you got Lee, you got Jose. We did not have Jose sitting here when we had Irma. So we got to look at other influences from the upper levels of the atmosphere. What else is going on in the atmosphere? So I got a bunch of lines here drawn at me, drawn on the picture here. You're probably looking at me like, what is this? I'm talking science. Science is important when we're dealing with tropical storms and hurricanes, because the atmosphere moves like the ocean. There's a lot of currents that flow and influence each other, and everything is interchangeable and everything is changing, minute by minute, hour by hour. But when we look at the upper levels of the atmosphere, you got high pressure, you got Jose here, you got a dip in the jet stream, that's low pressure. Think of high pressure and low pressure like mountains and valleys. Highs would be higher top mountains, lows and dips in the jet streams would be more valleys. The air in the atmosphere moves kind of like water. So it's going to go somewhere where it's easily accessible, the path of least resistance. So in this case, if you're looking at it from a topography map, that would be in a valley. It's easier for a river to flow downstream into a valley than up a mountain, right? So I think with Jose here, it creates more of an influence for Maria to follow in its path. Now, that is a week away. That is way, way beyond 5 to 7 days out. So that's just an idea of what I'm thinking about. I want to put some minds at ease. You know, because you'll look at Maria and you'll think, whoa, that looks awfully similar to Irma. And it does for where it is situated currently now. But what's not similar when we look at Maria to Irma is what else is going on in the atmosphere. And that's why you can't compare storms. Every situation is different, and you got to look at all factors that come into play and all things that'll be kind of constantly changing as we go day to day, minute to minute, and as we progress. So hopefully that puts some minds at ease. First coast here, Florida, nothing to worry about over the next 5 to 7 days. I know we're still dealing with plenty of cleanup efforts from Irma, so if you're dealing with that, take your time, clean up. If you got a whole week ahead to maybe go back, and if you finish up your cleanup efforts, power finally comes back on, maybe just go back, freshen up the hurricane kit, freshen up that plan, which we all should have prepped and ready to go regardless, just because we're in hurricane season. So just because there's a couple storms out here shouldn't really change the fact that we should or should not be prepared. You know, we should always be prepared in hurricane season. So just want to put some minds at ease. Nothing to worry about over the next 5 to 7 days. Just keep an eye to the forecast, an eye to the horizon when we deal with the tropics. And hopefully that helps, and hopefully that answers some questions, because we're going to see this become a pretty strong hurricane over the next couple of days. So I don't want everyone to get scared or panic or really worry. Just want to put some minds at ease and let you guys know that we're dealing with a much different situation than we dealt with Irma, because we have plenty of other storms to be dealt with. There's other factors that come into play. Tyler, any questions? People wondering locally, or are we just kind of cruising through this?
Yeah, we're just kind of good. We're good today.
Okay.
Not a lot of questions from the people today.
All right, so we just want to record that and put some minds at ease. You got nothing really to worry about over the next 5 days. We'll be keeping an eye on this forecast, and like I mentioned, things change drastically as we go week to week. So when you're looking at the spaghetti plots or the cones of uncertainty, you're going to be seeing a lot. So just know that things are going to be changing. But we've got an eye on Maria, and I think we'll fare all right over the next week, because there's nothing to worry about over the next week, and we'll be all right. So yeah, I'll go back and answer any questions you guys drop in the comments if there's anything there, and maybe get the hashtag going. Oh Marie, get out of here, oh Marie, you're not.